Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. Today we're going to tie a lively Legz pheasant tail flashback nymph. The hook I have in the vise is a 2 extra long size 16 and I have a 2.5 millimeter bead on there, and that's silver. I'm going to use some extra weight. I'm going to put 10 thousandths lead wire on there. I put about a dozen, 12 to 15 wraps on there. Push that up inside the bead, and we'll break off the excess. I'm going to use black thread. It's a 70 denier. We're going to start the thread behind the lead wraps, and we're going to push the lead wraps into the bead to secure them. And then we're going to bring our thread back to where it would hang at the barb. These lively legs really make your nymph patterns, really sets them off. I'm going to start by putting the tail on, and I have a pheasant tail center. This is a natural. I'm going to take about a half a dozen or so barbels from it. We're going to secure them. I'm just going to put a couple of wraps on there, and then I'm going to pull them to size. 2 or 3 wraps. We'll pull them to size. We want the tail to be about half the length of the body. We can take our remainder and we can fold that back and tie that in, and that's going to be the abdomen. For the rib, I have a extra fine copper wire. I'm going to go ahead and tie that on. I want to make sure that you get it on the side, one side or the other. It's not a real big deal. And I'm going to bring that thread forward, kind of fill in that little bit of a gap there, level it out. I'll bring the thread back up almost to the bead. Now we're going to take our lively legs and get these from livelylegs.com. These ones that I'm going to use are purple, and this is for extra small for size 16s. And you get them from livelylegs.com. Take our lively legs. You can see the purple flecks in there, and that leg that has that 90 degree, that's the front. And this is obviously too big to use all 3 legs, so we're going to trim off the back leg, and I'm going to take off some of that tab on the front. Just be careful when you cut the tabs and remove the back legs. I have trimmed off legs that I didn't want to a couple of times. I'm going to take that. You can see I got 2 little tabs there, and we're going to tie that in. I'm going to start by tying it right in the middle. These lively legs, like I said, they really set off the, turn your nymph into something special. If you go on the Facebook page for lively legs, you'll see there's a lot of pictures of guys catching trout here in Pennsylvania and all along the East Coast with these lively legs flies. When you tie the legs in, you don't want to put a figure 8 over the legs, because it tends to push the legs up if you do that. I'm going to bring the thread right in front, or right between the legs, and then we're going to wrap the abdomen. I use a hackle plier for a couple reasons. One is because they're short, big fingers can't get in there, and secondly, so you can twist it a little bit to wrap your pheasant tail. We're going to wrap that right up, and we're going to bring that right up to in between the legs. That nice and tight to that back set of legs, and bring that up in between them. And go ahead and tie them off there. I'm going to secure them and remove that excess. Now we're going to take the copper wire and we're going to counter wrap that. Counter wrap being the opposite direction you wrap everything else. And you palmer that, open spaces. Palmer that rib forward. And I'm going to bring that right up between the legs. And tie that off. And we can just break off the excess. Now for our wing case, our flashback, I have pearl diamond braid. You don't necessarily need to use pearl. I like the pearl. You can use different colors, green diamond braid. Good thing about the tying your own flies is you get to experiment, so experiment. Now I'm going to take a pair of Peacock Herl, and I'm going to tie them in by the tip. I'm going to break away the really fragile stuff on the very tip. We're going to tie them in. And again, you can use, for the thorax, you can use rabbit hair. If you'd like, we're going to take the Peacock Herl and we're going to wrap that thorax. And bring it up in front of that front pair of legs. Put a wrap or two right there. And we're going to tie that in. And we can break those off. I'm going to take our wing case and we're going to fold that over and we're going to tie that in. Put a couple of wraps right in front of it. And we'll remove that excess. Take our whip finish. And trim that off, and we're going to put a little bit of head cement on there. And the head cement I'm going to put right on the wing case, just because it's kind of bulky there, but it's going to drip right down into those threads. And here we have a Lively Legz pheasant tail flashback. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my video.